These are some of the most popular questions I'm getting lately. As we get closer to the end of June, will the eviction moratoria be extended? So this is the CDC Eviction Moratorium and the state of California, SB91. Will they be extended beyond their current deadlines of June 30th? We'll also dive into the very confusing 80-20 and 25-75 percentages in the state of California and SB91. And make sure you stick around to the end where we'll tell you where tenants and landlords can find legal assistance. Hey there, Christian Walsh with Wire Associates. We're real estate brokers based in Southern California, helping tenants and landlords and buyers and sellers get through these crazy days. And we have a big update on the eviction moratoria. This has been a very popular topic. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. We're shooting this in the middle of June, and there's a few more weeks to go before the eviction moratorium at the national level, the CDC Eviction Moratorium, will end. And for Californians, SB91, the eviction moratorium is slated to end at the end of June. So a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen. And remember, we can't give legal or tax advice, but for the most honest and up-to-date real estate advice, subscribe to this channel. So the CDC eviction moratorium is at a national level. It can be superseded by local and statewide eviction moratoria, like we have in the state of California. But for other states that don't have it, or other areas, they are under the protection of the CDC eviction moratorium. And this has been extended in the past. The CDC eviction moratorium has been challenged since the beginning in many states. And recently in May, there was a stop that was put to it, but then it was rolled back and put back into place. So will the CDC eviction moratorium be extended at the end of June? We highly doubt it. Because of these legal challenges, we find it unlikely they will continue to move forward, especially as states continue to open up. So what should you do if you are a tenant and landlord in a state with CDC eviction moratorium and it's not extended? Well, make sure landlords and tenants are working together to get their share of the federal stimulus dollars that have been distributed. In December, we had funds go out across the nation to help with rental assistance. And then again in March, we had funds go out. So make sure landlords and tenants are working together to access those funds. The National Low Income Housing Coalition has an amazing website set up so that you can access statewide and local rental assistance programs. We have a link below, and we've covered this in other videos as well. So make sure if the CDC eviction moratorium is coming to an end in your area that you visit this website immediately. Moving on to the state of California, can you be evicted in California during the pandemic? And the short answer is no, because of SB91, which protects tenants who aren't paying rent due to COVID-19. So SB91 governs the state of California, and there are local eviction moratoria that are more stringent in certain districts in California, including Los Angeles, for example. So make sure you research and find out if you are under a local eviction moratorium. And as for our opinion on whether SB91 will be extended, we believe the answer is yes, unlike the CDC eviction moratorium. So in the state of California, the rental assistance funds have been painfully and slowly distributed. So it's a patchwork of local, county, and a statewide program. So the funds have been slow to be distributed. That we're hoping is going to be streamlined and be made easier very soon. But until it does, not enough tenants and landlords have received the help they need. They're still working on distributing the funds that were handed out in December, and they still have to get through the funds from March. So that is why we believe that SB91 will be extended or replaced by a similar bill. And just to show you how close to the finish line the legislature can come, AB 3088, the previous eviction moratorium bill, was put into place days before the Judicial Council's eviction moratorium ended. And then SB 91 was put into place just days before AB 3088 ended. So we may not know until the very last days of June whether SB 91 is extended or a different bill replaces it. So we've created plenty of content on SB91 and we encourage you to check it out, but it's important. A quick summary: there were 3 important things set up in SB91 in the state of California. And number 1 is it set up the California Rental Assistance Program, and that's what is distributing the funds at a statewide level. You visit the website housingiskey.com in order to access the state funds. Number 2, it dramatically reduced landlords' abilities to terminate tenancies. So landlords have not been able to get tenants out for the usual reasons they were able to before the pandemic. And then number 3 is it absolutely prevents eviction due to the non-payment of rent due to COVID-19 and allows tenants, as long as they pay 25% of the monthly missed rent by June 30th, allows tenants to stay. They cannot be evicted for non-payment of rent, and they can't be evicted for the other 75% that's owed. So those are the 3 important things that SB91 set up, and we do expect those to be extended. So we're here to run through the different percentages that are in SB91 that tend to confuse landlords and tenants. Hopefully this will lead to a better understanding. So what it is the 25-75 and the 80-20 refer to different parts of SB91. So the 75-25 is related to the payment that a landlord must receive by June 30th from a tenant. And if they receive this payment, the landlord cannot move forward with an eviction. So that is the 25%. So by June 30th, a tenant needs to pay 25% of monthly missed rent. And the monthly missed rent goes all the way back to September 2020. So any months a tenant missed going back to September 2020 are due. 25% is due to the landlord by June 30th. The other 75%, if this is paid, the landlord cannot evict over this other 75%. They can attempt to work with the tenant to come up with a payment plan. If that doesn't work, the landlord is able to go to small claims court to recover that 75%. So there's the 75-25. Now the 80-20. So this is related to the rental assistance program. So the funds that came from the federal government that are being distributed to landlords for back rent, that's the 80-20. So what this is saying is if the landlord and tenant work together and they apply in through housingiskey.com or local or county websites, the landlord will receive up to 80% of back rent. They will be required to forgive the other 20%. So that's where the 80-20 comes in. And here's where it gets a little complicated. If the landlord won't cooperate, they will not cooperate, they will not take the 80%, they want to do whatever it is they want to do to recover all the rent, in that case, the tenant can apply and will get the 25% to pay the landlord for this part. So that's where they intermix and that's where it gets confusing. Another important point is that Governor Newsom said recently that there are going to be funds set aside to bring landlords whole. So they won't have to forgive 20%. They will be given 100%. So that's good news for landlords, of course, and good news for tenants as well, because landlords are much more likely to cooperate. We don't have a mechanism for the delivery of these funds yet. It has not been passed. We aren't 100% sure how landlords will get that full 100%. But hopefully it'll be through the housingiskey.com website, which they're continuing to fine tune and make the process easier. All right, so hopefully you better understand the 75-25 and the 80-20 and how they work together. If you have any other questions on it, leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. We promise to tell you where landlords and tenants can find legal assistance, and it's imperative during these crazy and complicated days that landlords and tenants have an attorney who knows what they're doing guide them through the process of eviction. This is not the time to use a friend of a friend of a friend who just passed the bar or an attorney who specializes in a different field. They must specialize in eviction laws. So for landlords to find legal assistance, we recommend they turn towards the local landlord or apartment association. There you'll be able to find members who understand local eviction laws as a landlord. Now for tenants, you can find free or low-cost legal assistance by visiting legal aid in your area. and or visiting lawhelp.org. At those sites, you'll find specialists in eviction laws, and they will understand how to represent tenants and protect their rights. So leave your comments below. I want to know if you think the CDC eviction moratorium is going to be extended. If you're in California, do you think SB91 will be extended? I also want to hear, have you applied for rental assistance and have you received those funds? So leave a comment below and let us know. Of course, we'd love to have you subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter. It comes out on Sundays, and we'll continue to keep content like this coming for tenants and landlords, plus updates for buyers and sellers as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you find out what happens at the end of June to see if there's any extensions. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh with Wire Associates, and we appreciate you.